Welcome back, everyone. This preview of the show will give you a lot of insights, knowing that there are a lot of common errors when transcribing music. And these are going to be some insights on what note mistakes and rhythmic mistakes are found commonly in transcriptions. And when you hear the music and write it down, you want it to kind of sound it out exactly how it has written and it is played the way it is written. So most common mistakes while transcribing music. Funding was provided by the National Endowment for the Arts, in which a great nation deserves art, with additional support from the United States Department of Education, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by your annual support from your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. And I want to show you something of the mistakes of transcribing music. So let's take a country song, for example, on how to do this correctly. And when the music is heard and there are many notes written at the time, please make sure that you do not get caught off with the note accuracy at any given time that you hear something. You know why? Because every time that you instantly hear a note, what you are going to be doing that is right is the way that because in country music, most common errors are done are the structuring of the time signature and the pickup that leads to the main theme. So what you're going to be doing is and these are going to be the basic structure of the notes. So this is taken from a song, How Do You Get That Lonely by Blaine Larson. Commonly the introduction starts off the and 4 for the pickup to the second measure. Please be sure not to get caught with too many notes at one time, because the most common mistake that is catching people off guard is you're trying to write down the accuracy of notes, but make sure that you spend a lot of time trying to accurately with the notes, especially for country ballads like How Do You Get That Lonely by Blaine Larson. Well, there are lots of instances like it will take a while to get familiar in transcribing the melody and giving the note accuracy. like saying, for example, the note goes down, is now an original, but it now goes up to a higher octave for the fourth measure and beyond. And this is one example that the way that it is transcribed be a matter of accuracy of notes and accuracy of rhythm. Make sure that you don't get caught off guard with notes that actually may kind of spread out within a measure. And what will end up happening is that you'll carefully think of the accuracy, like mentioned earlier. What you're going to be doing with it is you're going to make sure that you attempt to get a lot of out of your head once you hear something, which is definitely going to take a lot of work and anonymously process that information, which will definitely take a lot of practice to transcribe country music, such as How Do You Get That Lonely by Blaine Larson, and you'll have to identify the key signature, of course, which shouldn't be too hard. And and a smooth jazz transcription like Ryan Farish is still easily transcribed. Like the ones that I have been doing earlier. I have taught you how to transcribe things so that you can get familiar, and this video you're going to get in a lot of insights about the common mistakes that are featured while transcribing music. And like I said before, it isn't really going to be an easy thing. There's going to be a lot that you're going to have to process information, but once you have put in a lot of thought and as much as accuracy that you can put into your effort while transcribing a certain piece, it'll definitely become a lot more easier as time goes on. So what you're going to be doing is you will set one good example of how I just transcribe. How do you get that lonely? Because the way that the 16th notes are spread out and the way that the time signature is structured, what you are going to be doing is you're going to do the same drill, except there will be a lot of different notes and different rhythms for, like, for example, if we're, for example, this pattern were 2 measures and then suddenly 2 measures later get a different rhythm, and if you were how do you get that lonely were to begin like that, what you'll do is you'll be careful to make sure that you start the pickup before actually getting into the main theme for the introduction. And for the pickup, what will end up happening is it will basically start off with a verse. So, make sure on how do you get that lonely. Make sure not to get caught off guard. This will definitely help you out if you kind of make a lot of good accuracy to the rhythm and notes. The way that the singer sings it is what I have set a good example of, that will kind of make the person who transcribes a certain country piece, like, try to indicate where mouse is pointing at to show that I have done it with complete accuracy and have put in a lot of thought over a long-term period, for which you all know that it'll take a lot of effort and tries to get the whole drill down, just like I have been guiding in my music transcriptions. So I'm going to go ahead and try and set another example of what should be done. And be careful of what I do accurately. So this is take an expert from the 98 degrees I do cherish you. You'll represent. And this will make sure that you're watching my circles because this is indicating of where I am pointing out to the accuracy of notes. And common mistakes for the transcription, like I do cherish you, is that you do not want to forget adding in a passing tone and then resolving it to do. And then what you're going to be doing is typically the way that they're going to sing this is actually more than just one single note. You're going to actually further expand doing. You're going to actually expand it just like the way that 98 degrees sings it is. You're going to add in a couple notes down there and then tie it to a quarter note. And rhythmically, those are going to be 2/16 notes tied to a quarter note. Just like I did the drill to transcribe my pieces. And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing another pickup and then resolving to down the scale a fifth below that, and then a perfect fourth below that in the next measure. Do you want to get what I'm saying, guys? And then you're gonna do a recapitulation at the very beginning and do that same drill. And don't forget to put down a passing tone, 16 notes down to an 8th note. And then what you're going to be doing is doing much of the same thing, which is a recapitulation of the second measure, for example. And what we're going to end up doing here is repeating the same process as like in measures 3 and 4, for which I will again say the drill. It's going to be a pickup to the next measure by the way of structure, and then this will be the way of structure once again, a pickup followed by another full measure phrase. So commonly mistaken is that it's the matter of structure for this song, because you don't honestly know that there are going to be pickups for most of the sections for each verse. So I'm going to go ahead and do one more demonstration on some common mistakes and how to correct them. So watch I do something Okay. Question is, do I see any mistakes? So the deal with the common mistakes, it's just talked by Pat Metheny Group, is there's actually an extra note before the eighth note begins. So make sure that you watch out before that you actually can transcribe the notes. So what you're going to, and make sure that you get the accuracy of notes. Okay, I want to make sure that leaps down to a third, down to that just leaps down to a third and then up to a fourth. Make sure that you don't include that for the first measure, the last beat of the first measure. So, and then make sure that you put in within 2 beats. The following notes are dotted quarter followed by 2/16 notes within 2 beat measure, and then you're gonna go up a passing tone upward to G sharp, but you'll go up to a B and then down a perfect fifth, and then F sharp, and then as downward passing tone to a major third, and then go up C sharp, E, 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 and then to an A. Make sure that this is not like a regular chord note, that. And then A, E, C sharp, E, E. Because the common mistake is that you don't add an extra note before the 2/8 notes. So I hope that you all listened and enjoyed this presentation. So we are going to close out this video. Most common mistakes while transcribing music. Funding was provided by the National Endowment for the Arts, for which a great nation deserves art, with additional support from the U.S. Department of Education, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by the annual financial support to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.